Angel. I just wanted to go ahead and just send a special shout out to, I believe the name of the person's YouTube channel is Real Talk New York with Janique, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, anyway, I just wanted to just let you know that you have my full support, and I really was touched by your video when I first saw it. And yeah, I do appreciate you giving me permission to go ahead and just send you a response video. And yeah, and I have to let you know that first off, that, when I first saw the title of your video, I was a little bit thrown by it. I thought that this would be, just yet another YouTube video, just, vilifying and judging the single mothers. And then, when I did take the time to look at the content and really listen to your story, I began to see that you actually are someone who is out to defend single mothers. And I do thank you and commend you for that. I really do appreciate that, because I do know women in those situations, and they really are very beautiful, wonderful people, and they don't deserve to be villainized and told that they're bad people that no one should love or date. I don't know why there are so many people like that on the internet, but it's just really childish, and yeah, so that's just why I just felt moved to respond to you. And yeah, and also, I'm sorry, um, there's a lot of background noise on my end too, so, I'm like you, I live in a big city too, so yeah, I do apologize for that. But, yeah, however, I did, just wanted to send you my support, and just, I guess just share with you just why I strongly agree, with a lot of the points that you made in your video. So what I did was, well, I noticed that you did watch one of my other videos on this channel. So I guess you know that what I usually do is just contact, a hotline that advocates for single mothers, or for just women who are being victimized in some way, or basically for anyone who is being victimized. And what I do is I just record those conversations so that, the people or anyone who might be like watching or listening to the videos can, you know, get a real, you know, professional perspective, and not just strangers, on the internet just judging and bashing others that they don't know for, no good reason. In my opinion, these are just bullies, or just people who, are just not happy with their own lives, and they're just taking that out on others. And yeah, so I really do, admire your courage and your strength in, addressing this. It looks like there are not a lot of people who are doing that, at least as far as I know. So yeah, that's why I really do admire you, and thank you for that. And yeah, and just keep doing a good job. Just don't, feed into all the negativity. Just, keep doing you. I think you're a wonderful person. I think you're a very lovely lady. And I'm sure that you're a good mother to your child. Only you know yourself and your life better than anyone else. No one has the right to tell you who you are, and yeah, and I just wanted to let you know that the recording and the conversation, it might sound a little bit weird, and my voice also sounds weird, and I'm sorry about that too. I've just been kind of tired. Things have been really difficult because of the pandemic and everything else. So, yeah, I'm sorry, and I'm not really the best video maker. That's why I'm just not on YouTube all that often. I'm not overly crazy about it. So, yeah, if you're able to just, tolerate, any of the mistakes that you might find in this video, then, I do appreciate that, and I hope that the sound quality isn't too bad. I did the best I could, to try to, like just make everything sound clear and yeah, if you take the time to listen to the conversation that I had with the lady at the National Domestic Violence Hotline, I hope it will be encouraging to you and your child and other women and children in that situation. So yeah, and yeah, that's just why I just wanted to send you, this response video just to, just give you my support and yeah, I hope you enjoy the video. I hope you do get the validation that you need from it, and I hope it's encouraging to both you and your son. And yeah, just keep doing a good job. I think you're doing great, and I'm not holding it against you. Whatever it was that you had gone through, whatever had happened, you know, um, all life is precious. It doesn't matter how it happened or, how a child got brought into the world. It's not for others to degrade you and tell you who you are and who should date you or not date you. They don't have the authorization to make those types of judgments. Only God does. So, yeah, and yeah, that's pretty much it. And if you have any other questions, you can just drop me a comment in the comment section below. I hope that this will pretty much clarify anything that you need to know. And but again, just let me know if I missed anything. You don't have to be afraid to, tell me anything where I may have misunderstood your video or or just any lapse that I may have had. And I'm sorry. Like, I really do wish I could make better videos than the ones I've been making, but I've just been really tired, like I said. But I've been doing my best with this. So yeah. Okay. So that's pretty much it. And yeah, thank you for this opportunity for me to share my thoughts. And yeah, just keep doing what you're doing. And I think you're a very beautiful person. All right. And yeah, take care. Thanks.
Thank you for calling the National Domestic Violence Hotline. Your call is extremely important to us. All advocates are currently busy, but someone will be with you shortly. Para español, oprima dos. For English and all other languages, press 1. Gracias por llamar. Thank you for reaching out to the National Domestic Violence Hotline. Okay. So what's been going on?
Yeah, so, even though I feel that I might be in an abusive relationship, and, I have been in one for actually quite a while, that really isn't the focus um, of this call that I had in mind. I don't know if you would be open to hearing about other concerns I have outside of this, but also related to it. So, I don't know what you're open
Well,
to.
we mainly just talk about abusive relationship.
Uh-huh.
I mean, is it about someone else's relationship?
Oh, yes. It's funny you mentioned that because it is. And I was just concerned about her. So, and I guess that's another reason this is kind of triggering for me personally, because I have been through, a situation similar to hers, and I was just a little upset, I think, about how she was dealing with it. So that's a little of what I wanted to talk about today, if that's okay. Yeah, okay. So, sorry, it actually is somewhat of an unusual situation. I don't know how often you get calls like this, but I actually found this young lady online, and I don't know the entire story, but at least based on what I understand, it does seem to, it seems similar to stuff I had gone through in my own life. But anyway, from what I understood, it seems that, she had a child from when she was younger. I think she was a teenager or something, and she was receiving like a lot of ridicule and a lot of persecution and bullying for that. And it seems that she still continues to receive that, even online in, videos that she posts. I think in an effort to encourage other women who are going through similar things. And, I did comment back to her, and, it seems that she had reviewed some videos that I myself had posted in regards to these things. And we have not had a chance to directly collaborate yet, but anyway, the reason that this was just like a little bit, upsetting for me is just because I kind of understand, the reasons that, a lot of women end up in those situations of, getting like pregnant by the wrong person and things like that. And, often, women in those situations had grown up, in very abusive homes. And, and then, as I'm sure when they end up getting pregnant by, someone abusive, it's often because, the abuser knows how to select their victims. And they know, like they know that they're vulnerable. They know that they had gone through abuse and things like that. And they know how to be charming. They know how to fool people, and yeah. And yet, I'm seeing like a lot of victim blaming, on these types of videos, like on YouTube and such. And it kind of reminds me of things that I myself had gone through in my own life. And I guess one of the reasons I called today was because, I just wanted to, know if there was anything that you could think of that maybe I could say back to her. If, for example, if I upload like a reaction video, to her video or something like that. Just things that I hope would be encouraging to her and, maybe other women in that situation, because, this feels like a lot of bullying here, and it's just really unwarranted, and I don't even know why YouTube allows it, but yeah, I just wanted to see, if you have any suggestions for what I could maybe tell her, that could be encouraging to her, hopefully.
Yeah, so this is someone that posts YouTube videos about, I guess, her experience with domestic violence?
Yeah, well, that seems to be the general idea. It seems like, well, I don't know the entire situation between her and the father of her child, but it just seems like, she was receiving bullying from, others in her life, like, at the school that she was at, I think, when, because this happened when she was a teenager, from what I understand. And and then people were just shaming her and judging her and persecuting her for, even though, I absolutely commend her for not getting an abortion and, and being a good mother to the child in the face of all, of all that bullying and, and people are not giving her credit for that. Like they're just, and you probably know how, these online bullies, like they just like to throw up in the woman's face the fact that she had a child with someone without being married to them, like as a way of, or as a way of like, grasping at a straw that they think they could use against them to make them at fault for the abuse that their partner gave them. You know what I'm saying? That just seems to be, the same sort of generic rhetoric that they come up with constantly, these types of online bullies, and it's very repetitive, and it doesn't matter what I try to tell them, even if I refer them to this hotline to try to get them to understand, all the dynamics, and why, the victim blaming and victim shaming perspective is despicable and wrong. They still don't want to hear it. I believe that, one of them even spoke with an advocate here before, and then he lied to me about what was said in the conversation. He actually said, believe it or not, I'm just telling you what he said back to me. He said, oh, well, the person I spoke with agreed with me, so you are the one who is wrong. And then, and then I called back here after that and said, would anyone here at this hotline ever say anything like that? Would anyone here ever side, with him against a victim? And they said, oh no, absolutely not. We don't do that here. He's not being completely truthful with you. And, and isn't that exactly what an abuser does? It's just, but anyway, it's very triggering for me because yeah, you see what I'm saying? Like these men are behaving just like, the abusers and these women's lives have already, and and especially in this particular woman's case, and yeah. So I was just asking for some ideas as to what you think I could tell her that would be helpful to her and hopefully her child too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess, what were you thinking about saying? Or I guess what would have been helpful for you to hear in that situation?
Well, honestly, I feel like I've tried telling these men, and believe it or not, even some women might say these things, to these single mothers,
Yeah.
that have been through these things. Like, I mean, what is it about the statement? Like, abuse is a choice, and there is absolutely no excuse for it. Is it that these people just don't understand? I mean, I, I mean, even if she chooses to be with him, or to sleep with him and have a child with him, whether she is married to him or not, he has no right to abuse her or his child in any way. And
Right.
yeah, I've tried telling these people these things, and it's just like, I don't know why, like, they're just so resistant to opening up their minds about the dynamics of domestic abuse. But yeah, I feel like I've run out of things to. I know by now that they don't want to hear it. I think they just want to believe what they want to believe. Yeah, or whatever makes them feel good about themselves. Yeah.
Right. They're not. It doesn't seem like they're really open to learning about it. Maybe, I guess, they feel better by putting other people down. I don't know if there's much you can say to people like that. But I think, I mean, they obviously, they don't understand, and they don't want to understand, and no one has to know, none of these people know what it's like to be her.
Yeah.
And so their opinion doesn't really matter, because none of them had to make that choice.
Yeah, and I would also say 9 times out of 10, the people who are saying these things, they were never abused as children or traumatized in any way, to the degree that many single mothers in that situation have been, or definitely not to the degree that I have been. I know what I myself, know what I had gone through, in order to get set up for, meeting a lot of the abusive guys that I met later, like, abuse was all I knew. And personally, that was just all I knew. And for that reason, it was normal to me when it was still happening to me. And then, when people would tell me things like, well, it's your fault because you chose to be with him, or you deserve it because you chose to be with a bad guy or to have a kid with a bad guy. And, like, I mean, it makes me only feel, as if I'm that much more worthless, or, that much more deserving of abuse, which is why I've found myself continuing to be with those types of guys. So that's the extent of the damage that victim blaming and victim shaming can cause. But these people, they, these types of people, or these types of bullies that I find, online and other places, like, they don't want to hear about these things. They just, and it's okay, if a person does not want to date a single parent for whatever reason. That's not the point that I'm making. It's just that, a lot of, you know what I mean? But all this bullying and all this ridicule is still unwarranted, and especially in the way of, victim blaming. It's totally despicable and wrong. And, that's what I think my mission is, to kind of put an end to that and spread awareness. But yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty much it. I guess I just want a little feedback, in case there was anything I didn't think of that, could help this young lady and her child. But I think we pretty much covered a lot, though. But can you think of anything else, or do you think that's pretty much it, or?
Yeah, I mean, I think that you're right. It's going to be hard to convince those people of, like, hearing something that they don't want to hear. It doesn't really make any sense that, so many people are affected by domestic violence, and they can't all be choosing it and wanting to go through that. But yeah, I guess just letting her know that, you think that she's really strong for going through what she's gone through, and that,
Yes.
yeah, like, no one gets to decide, like, what her story means to her, and they have no idea what it's like to be in her shoes, so it doesn't really matter what they have to say.
Yes.
And I hope that they never have to experience something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. It just seems that, the majority of people who say these things, like, they're just insecure, like, I'm not trying to sound facetious in this next part, but I mean, when I look at them, like, there's absolutely nothing impressive about them, like, about their profiles, or, they don't seem,
Right.
yeah, like they're, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, people who, you know, are not so pleasant to look at or listen to or be around. Like, they tend to gravitate towards putting others down to feel better about themselves. Unfortunately, it's a common,
Right.
yeah, and and I understand. There's nothing I can really do to control that. I think all I can do is just encourage, the women and children or whoever that they're trying to re-victimize in that way. And that's the only part that I think I have control over. Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So, but yeah, I think you hit the net.
And I hope that no one in their life has to go through this, so that they don't have to hear those really judgmental opinions.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You never know if karma might hit them too, and then they find themselves in those situations too, and then only then they will understand that. Hopefully, not in the hard way, but yeah, yeah. Heaven forbid, if they find themselves walking the mile, in these people's shoes, and then, it's just there's a lot of ignorance out there, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm always grateful for hotlines like this, and I do thank you all for doing what you're doing. You're doing a great job. So yeah, I do encourage you to keep up the good work. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, and I think I know what to say back to her now. If that's helpful. So thank you so much for your input. It makes, it means a whole lot to me. So, I really do appreciate that. Thank you.
No problem. Yeah, well, I hope you have a peaceful rest of your night. Okay. You take care of yourself.
All right, you too. Thank you. Bye.
No problem.